Hello, in today's demonstration, I'm going to show you how to create simple compositional structures with transfer painting and blot printing. And I've shown the transfer painting before. It's a little fiddly, so that's why I'm going to show the blot printing. So I'm going to put some open acrylic on this piece of tracing paper. I'm using a Prussian blue. You could use deli paper, regular paper. I'm just using this tracing paper. I want a thin distribution of this paint. I'm basically using acrylic paint to make my own carbon paper to transfer imagery. I'm going to make a simple composition. I'm going to go horizontal. And I'm just going to do some bottle shapes. Okay, so there's a very simple composition I made with my transfer paper, and because it's open acrylic, I can brush it with a little bit of water, wet brush, and further manipulate the paint. I'm going to set this aside while I show you the blot printing. Now, if you've been struggling with the transfer paper, the blot printing is much more immediate. You have a little bit more control. But you'll need is some fluid acrylic paint. I've got black here, and I bought these empty squeeze bottles. You can get them on Amazon with this needle nose tip. And I'm going to go more abstract with this, just some really simple, maybe rock shapes. Okay, so you squeeze and draw. And blot printing is a method Andy Warhol used for a lot of his advertising illustrations. He did his with a calligraphy pen and India ink, but there's many ways of doing it. Okay, so there's a possible compositional structure. And then I'm going to blot it with this tracing paper, which is nice because you can see the ink or the paint spreading out. Okay, and actually I get two prints. I get the tracing paper and the one on this print paper. I can use this. There's still enough paint on here. I can probably get another print, lighter. You can move it around to get more overlapping shapes. It's pretty light now, so I'm not going to do any more. Okay, so I'm going to save this. I could use this and save that. And then now I've got two compositional structures that I can add things to. Okay, now I'm not going to finish these. I'm just going to give you some ideas. So what do we do with all of those leftover jelly prints, some of which we like, some of which we don't like? Well, I can cut them up and add them to these compositional structures. So I'm just going to go kind of fast here to give you the idea of what you might do. So maybe I'll fill in the bottle with some of these collage papers. and I would glue it down with either Mod Podge or heavy matte gel. And I can move these pieces around until I get something that I like. Once I've glued them down, I can add more paint to them. I can cut, I can rip out shapes. And usually I pick the prints that didn't feel very successful to me. So I'm going to repurpose them in these new compositional structures. And I usually spend quite a bit of time doing this part of the creative process, really arranging and laying things out, making sure I get them where I want them, and then I glue them down, and then I add more paint. So I think you get the basic idea of using blot printing and transfer paper to create compositional structures that then you add more collage material or old Gelli prints to. Okay.